Yes, PaloAltoDelivery.com, better known today as DoorDash, founded in July of 2013 in San Francisco by... I'll be right back. Andy Fang, Evan Moore, Stanley Tang, and this. DoorDash has changed a lot since its inception 9 years ago, from the look of the app to the drastic decrease in base pay. What is going on, everybody? My name is Zach. I hope you are doing well. Before we get into the video, if you're new here, please do consider pressing the like and subscribe button so you never miss news, tips, tricks, and ride-alongs with a healthy dose of humor. About a month back, I was asked to co-host the Rideshare Rodeo podcast with Steve. At the end of the podcast, he asked me a question that I did not have a good answer for at the time.
Here's my last question for you that might be a little loaded, but I'm going to try it anyway. If I was able to make you director of operations for DoorDash or Uber Eats today, and you had full reign and freedom to make all of the decisions, and here are your two goals: that the company must be profitable in 3 years, but at the same time, driver retention must get higher so that good veteran drivers stay, churn rate must lower, and the market oversaturation needs to come to a stop ASAP. How would you address these?
I've given that a lot of thought since then, and while it wouldn't fix all of their problems, in this video, I would like to discuss why I feel a $5 base pay would be beneficial for the driver, the customer, and the company. Let's start with the drivers. One of the most common complaints I hear from my viewers is that base pay is far too low. I agree. Let's talk about why. A while back, I polled my subscribers and asked what your base pay is. The overwhelming majority of you are in markets that have a $2.50 base pay. For the sake of this video, I'm going to assume my base pay is $2.50. And let's say I can deliver 2 orders an hour. That's $5 an hour before customer tips. I got all sleuthy and I looked up the average hourly rate in the United States year by year. According to Statista, we're making wages straight out of 1981. To put that in perspective, that was the year Raiders of the Lost Ark and the song Betty Davis Eyes came out. I wouldn't even shit in my first diaper for 8 more years. $2.50 may have been sufficient in 1981 when the fucking DeLorean came out, but it's 2022, and inflation is a bitch. All right, let's go back to the future. If you're subscribed to my channel, you've seen me show many offers like these, and heard me say fuck many times, but that part isn't particularly relevant. I wish I could say those offers are photoshopped or one of those convenient app glitches, but unfortunately, those are real offers sent to real drivers. There's a common theme with all of these orders. These are base pay only orders. Let's take this offer for example. My car, Manny the Mazda, gets 28 miles a gallon. The last time I gassed up, I paid $4.50 per gallon of gas. Gas is still pretty expensive in my market. I use this fancy thing called a calculator to figure out how much money that order would cost me in gas. At $4.50 per gallon, and my car getting 28 miles per gallon, I would burn $1.53 in gas doing that order. Now, I know what some of you must be thinking. I gotcha, you fuckface. You'd still be making a profit by taking that order. But hold your fucking horses. That amount does not factor in that area sucks and I don't want to stay up there. I still have to drive back. $1.53 times 2 is $3.06. That puts me at a 31-cent loss by taking that order. That's not factoring in maintenance or taxes either. Now, in the interest of fairness, most of the offers I receive aren't that bad. However, over the past 2 weeks, I compiled a list of 94 offers that I personally received. These orders all had to meet one criteria. They all had to be going at least 7 miles. That part will be relevant shortly. Out of those 94 orders, the average mileage was 7.3 miles, and the average pay was $7.47. It's also worth mentioning the base pay in my market is $2.75. So these orders did show me more than they would show most of you. Now, I took a whopping none of these orders because a lot of them paid less than $1 a mile. Base pay is just not cutting it. That, along with the fact that DoorDash continues to hide tips, ensures that a large percentage of my market is underserved. We'll come back to the customers in a little bit. Not always, but frequently, customers that do live further away tend to tip better. I'm going to give you a scenario here. Let's say base pay to Ferndale is $2.50 and the customer tipped $8. That's $10.50 just to go to Ferndale. However, that order would only show $6.50 for an order going 7 to 11 miles, depending on where in the city it's going. Okay, so the app shows us $6.50. For me, that is an instant decline because it's less than $1 per mile. Let's take that same scenario, but instead of a $2.50 base pay, Let's go for a $5 base pay. This scenario assumes that DoorDash is still being shitty and hiding tips. Now we would see $9. Depending on what's going on in my market at the time, that order now stands a much better chance of me accepting it. It is not an uncommon occurrence to see orders going to Ferndale that look like this. Most of the orders going to Ferndale come from Bellingham, as we have far more restaurants here. For this part of the video, I would like to focus on the driver perspective, so we'll come back to the Ferndalians later. They're a proud people. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you'll know that I encourage all drivers to sign up for as many apps as they can. Even with a $5 base pay, that will not change. Well, it is a small sample size. I took the average pay for 20 Uber Eats orders and 20 DoorDash orders. The average pay on Uber Eats was $2.15 higher. If the base pay on DoorDash was $5 rather than $2.50, that would be a pretty even showdown between the two apps. So, in summary, a $5 base pay would ensure that significantly more orders are at least $1 per mile, and this would also drastically reduce the number of orders that less experienced drivers take a loss on. Now let's look at the customer side of the equation. I've been a DoorDash driver for about 3 years, and I've been a customer for approximately the same length of time. It always amazes me just how much the customers end up spending in fees. For the sake of this video, I will not be factoring in any time-sensitive promotions that could reduce customer fees. I had an epic cheat day and ordered DoorDash. For science. A Big Mac meal ordered through DoorDash in my area will cost $11.58 on DoorDash, and of course, this is before taxes, fees, or a tip. However, the grand total after taxes and fees, but before a customer tip, came to $20.20. This is for McDonald's. I'd have to do 8 DoorDash orders for base pay only just to get a fucking burger. On this order, DoorDash charged a service fee of $3 and a delivery fee of $3.99. That's $6.99 that DoorDash is collecting in fees for just a Big Mac meal. Only $1.63 of the $20.20 was tax. And keep in mind, the customer's already paying more for the food just because they ordered off the DoorDash menu. If the same customer were to walk into a McDonald's and order that same meal, they would spend $9.59. So, they're already spending $1.99 more just for the food. That's nearly a 21% markup for just the food alone. If we take the markup and the fees, that works out to be $8.98 that's being paid to DoorDash. That's almost 78% of the original item cost in the DoorDash app. Okay, so now DoorDash has $8.98 from the customer. That's not even factoring in the fact that they take a minimum commission of 15% from the restaurant as well. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is that shit's expensive. I do want to preface this by saying, I do find it incredibly disrespectful when a customer orders from a service and doesn't tip the driver. Having said that, after breaking down all these fees and price increases, I can see why a lot of customers are not tipping their DoorDash driver very well. I think that there's a way drivers could get paid more and customers wouldn't have to spend any extra money in fees. With the $5 base pay, our Ferndalian customers now stand a better chance of getting their order fast and hot, as many of those orders would no longer show that we would be making less than $1 per mile. When a customer stumbles upon one of my videos, one of the most common arguments I hear is, it should be the company's responsibility to adequately compensate the driver. And I tend to agree. I believe that a $5 base pay could be achieved without raising fees on the customer, resulting in a win-win for the drivers and the customers. But what about the company? I recently polled my viewers and asked what their market size is from start to end. The overwhelming majority of you are in markets with a delivery range of 6 to 10 miles. Let's assume the best case scenario. Let's assume that the order is going 6 miles. With a base pay of $2.50 and a $3 customer tip, that order still might sit around waiting for a while, as it's going to show the drivers they're going to make less than $1 per mile. So, what happens when too many drivers decline that order? DoorDash ends up bonusing that order quarter by quarter until eventually a driver does accept it. I've seen a lot of screenshots of orders that you would assume had a generous tip on them, but when the delivery was completed, it turned out to be all base pay. That means that DoorDash spent a lot of money out of their own pockets ensuring that that order got delivered. I want you to factor this in. If they bonused an order, say $6 to get it delivered, how long was that order sitting? Now, what do you think the chances are that that customer calls in for a refund due to getting cold or soggy food? While drivers in larger markets may not see this very frequently, there are smaller markets that do struggle to get orders delivered. They could have potentially saved themselves a lot of money on those orders by adequately compensating us to begin with. One of my subscribers, Cal, has received a phone call from driver support on 2 separate occasions. They were calling Cal to offer him additional compensation to ensure he wouldn't unassign the order that he had already accepted. At this point, he realized that those were probably no-tip orders that had probably been sitting. And he was correct. I think I've used enough numbers in this video, so I'll spare you the intricate math on this one. One of these offers came through at $15, going approximately 5.6 miles. After delivering the order, he realized that it was a base pay only order, so there was no tip. Not only did DoorDash have to bonus that order heavily, but they also offered Cal an additional $3 in compensation and used man hours to handle that one order. In my opinion, frequently, it would make more financial sense for DoorDash to just pay us the extra $2.50 on each order up front. It would get more orders delivered on time, it would reduce the need for customer support, and it would save them millions a year in refunds. Again, I believe that this can be achieved without raising fees on the customer. In recent days, DoorDash has been sending the same offers over and over if we let them time out. It does not take long on these low or no tip orders for DoorDash to start bonusing them. I would argue that DoorDash should never bonus low or no tip offers, as it costs them money. Instead, they should pay us a $5 base pay, ensuring significantly more orders arrive on time and hot. This would result in a reduced need for refunds and customer support staff. Furthermore, by increasing base pay to a $5 minimum, DoorDash would be creating healthy competition. At the time of filming this video, this is my completion rate. I may opt to unassign an order for any number of reasons, but usually it's because I got a better paying order on a different platform. Now, I realize, by me unassigning an order I've already accepted, I could potentially be making that customer wait a little longer. However, in my eyes, I'm making a smarter financial decision for me. A little while back, I said that Uber Eats paid on average $2.15 more per delivery. Well, an extra $2.50 would drastically reduce the number of unassigned orders on DoorDash. DoorDash would be creating healthy competition and give drivers a real incentive to drive for DoorDash rather than Uber Eats or Grubhub. Customers will be better served because they'd get their orders quicker, and the company would save money on bonusing and refunding orders. So, what are your thoughts? Is there anything I'm not factoring in? Let me know in the comment section below. Well, that's going to about wrap up the video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out one of my videos. If you haven't done so yet, please consider pressing the like and subscribe button. My name is Zach. I'll catch you soon.